Hi guys, and welcome to Excel VBA Advanced Payroll Management System, right? And I'm just going to show you guys how this works. Then we start work with full tutorial. All the information here of Tony Montana is not on the worksheet. If we drag it that much, we can just, as you can see, it's not right there. All we then need to do is just to click on Add Payments, and that's Tony Montana there. The other thing that you can do with this beautiful and advanced payroll management system is you click on this drop down there. You can reduce the font to whatever you want. For those who are visually impaired, you can also increase it to whatever size you want, but the default size is just 100. There we go. Now we can click on, let's say we want to change the reference, change the payroll reference there, or the wages reference. And we can also reset the system, exit out if you want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click and start a new project entirely. Alright, let's start work with a new project. Click on the developer menu right up here. However, for those who are new beginners, if you don't have developer menu, go to File and select Options. Right in there you will see Customize ribbon, and make sure you check Developer right here. Make sure it is checked and click on OK. There we go. You should be able to see your developer menu there. Click on the developer menu. Come right here, you see where we have a Visual Basic. Click on that, and in here select Insert. Inside the Insert, select User Form. There we go. And I'm going to give my user form the following size. So the height, I'm going to make that about 800, and the width, I'm going to make that 1030 there. And I now need to work on the toolbox. This is your toolbox. If you don't have it, just click on that icon there. I'm going to first of all select the frame. That is the frame, and just drag it that much. Get rid of the text content inside the frame. Right there inside the caption, delete that. And that very frame, I'm going to copy it. Hold on to your control, click and drag. I've just copied the frame. That is fine. Now I'm going to copy the frame again. There we go. Now the frames that are copied, I'm going to adjust them how I want the system to look like. So drag this here, and in here I will have the details of my employees, or the details of the payroll. Bring this down. That is fine. And in here, just drag this that much. I need two of those here, 1 and 2. Copy that here. Yeah, something like that. And I'm going to then need one here and another one to the side. One here as well. Right, that's fine. Okay, now let's change the appearance of this. We have one there. We have one here. We need about 3 more of these. Right, and 1 more. There we go. Now these two, just drag them right down, and this very one here, bring it right down. That is for my payslip. And right below, I'm going to need 1. Let's just drag it here all the way there. I'll grab hold of another one, and I'm going to reduce the size of this that much, paste it right in there. Bring this, get this one centered, drag, there we go. So if we run it now, let's run it and see how that's going to look like. That is how it's looking right now. Just need a few modifications and that's it. So exit out. Now let's do some changes. Select this one there and this very one and the one right underneath here, and let's change the back color. Come right here, palette, and change that to green. There we go. And that's all. And in here I'm going to add list box there. That will be for our payslip. And up here there'll be a label and another label here. We have 2 labels. Those 2 labels, I'm going to change the font color and the font style. Change it to something light, and the font is going to be, let's come into font, let's make it maybe 12. There we go. And this one is going to be payday. Let's change the caption. Pay date. Yeah. And just drag it. Let's drag it so that you can see it. Okay, this one is going to be for that will display the date. That's just the purpose of that. And the name of that one, I can just change it to LBL date. That's it, the variable name is changed. Alright, so that is fine. Now, up here, we can copy this as well. We just change it around, paste that in there. And in here, I'm just going to enter as follows. I'm going to call that Advanced Payroll Management System. There we go. I'm going to enhance the size, the font size. Let's make it a little bit more readable. Let's see. That might be a little bit too big, but let's see first. So let's reduce the size of that font. I'm going to make it 40. Let's see how 40 is going to look like. Alright, 40 seems a little bit much better. Okay, that's fine. Now, let's start work with the rest. Okay, let's add a label here. Have a label there, and let me change the size of that label to 14 bold. And I'm going to copy that same label, just paste it right here. The copied label, I'm going to delete the content in there and change the border style. I want it to be single. That's fine, that's how I want it. Okay, now it's visible. Alright, now copy it across. Well, first of all, let's change this one to tax period. There, and just copy. And one more. Very good. There. So we're gonna have to move all of this up. Yeah. Now here, in here we need two of those. 1, 2. And just bring this down here. And I need one here. One here. And one right here. Okay, now let's name it accordingly. This is going to be tax code. Right. And here, that will be NI. NI number. This will be an NI code. Here, that's going to be taxable pay. And so on for that. Taxable pay. And that will be pensionable. Here we have the gross pay. The gross pay. Deduction or deductions. And net pay. There. Okay, let's copy all of this and bring it down here. Bring it right down here. Yep, that is fine. So we move this up. So far there's going to be some movement as well. And here we're going to need some text box here. Text box 1, 2, and 3, because that's where we will be entering the pay details. Right, that is good. It's now looking much better. Right, move this right up there. Okay, and we need buttons here. We're going to need about 4 buttons, or maybe 5. Let's grab hold of button 1 here, and let's enhance the size of this very button to maybe about 16 bold. 16 bold. And as well, we need to change the back color. Back color, I'm going to make that green. The font on it, I'm going to make it highlight text, and in here change this to exit, and the name is going to be, we can change that to CMD exit. Right, and let's copy this very exit. We have 2, 3, and there we go. Okay, right up here, then let's add a combo box. One little combo box here. Then here we need as follows. It's going to be text box up there for the details. Let's copy this. We need them. Place them here. And we need a combo box here. There. And we need Yeah, and the rest is going to be, yeah, text box. One text box. So far this is how it's looking. We just need to tidy it up. So if I run it now, let's click on run. This is how it's looking. I just need to tidy up the old system and give it an appropriate name. Right, so let's just speed that up. Alright, I've finished up with the naming, and each of the components that you guys are looking at are named with the same name we have on the label. If you look at this very one now, employee name, and that is it right there, TXT employee name, employer name, and this one is employee name. That is gender, CBO, gender, address, postcode, and so on. Okay, so just the names, the label names are what is named here. Now text box is right here. These are all text box and two combo box there, and here those are text box as well, and I enter default value of 0.0. All you need to do is come straight here, make sure it's selected, and go to the text box and just add your 0.0 or whatever you want to add in there. Every other component for display that you're looking at, they are all labels. Okay, because the system, we have to generate that. And right here I have a label as well, and this is just a list box. Okay, now let's double click on the form and start work with some coding. Well, first of all, I want the date to appear, and I also want the tax period to be displayed. So in there I'm going to double click on the form. Now I'm going to declare the following variables before I go any further. So first of all, I'm just going to say option explicit. So dim inner city as double. So all of the variables that I'm going to use are going to be double. So I'm going to copy that and just change the text content around. Alright, the next one here is going to be basic pay, followed by overtime, then tax, pension, then I'm going to go for student loan here, and finally NI payment. There we go. Let's declare some other ones for string and date. So let's say dim period as string, dim dd date, that's going to be as date, and dim month, month number, let that one be integer. Those are the variables that I'm going to need. Now for the date to appear, what I'm going to do is, you see the form itself. Instead of using form click, I'm going to change the event to maybe form initialize, this very one here. Inside the form initialize, first of all I'm going to say LBL date dot caption, and that would be equals, let's say format date, comma, then it's going to be, let's use middle date, and that is that done. So if I run it now, you should be able to see the date. That's it. So that's how the middle date look like. Alright, and these other ones, I just want them to give me the drop down. So go back to the form load, form initialize, I mean. The first one I'm going to take care of is COB gender dot add item. The first item, I'm going to make that female. There. And the next one is going to be male. That is taken care of. Now the next one is we want to take care of COB pay rate, no, pay reference dot add, and this is the reference of our employees. So let's say 78455 there. So I'm just gonna copy that and make up the others. Let's say we have about 5 employees. Yeah, that's fine. Just change that around there. And we also need to make up the zoom. That's to increase the font, to increase the size of the font. So let's say zoom, and let's say the first value is 50 there, and I'm going to just speed that up, and there we go. So that's what we have inside our form initialize. So if we run it now, before I run it, let me show you guys one thing. You see, when you click on the form, come straight to the property zoom. That's what I'm talking, that's the property I'm talking about, and that's it right here. So if I run it now, there's nothing happening so far apart from we are able to just add all of these or whatever I want to add, and that is for zoom as well. Okay, so for now, let's exit out and save the project. So I'm going to go straight to file, click on save, and I'm going to give my project a name. I'll just call it Payroll Management Systems. But the thing is, you see the save type, I'm going to change that to Excel macro enable. Just save it inside my download here and just click on save. There we go. Run. Now, as you guys can see, none of these buttons do anything. So what I'm going to do first of all is, you see, let's take care of the total, then we can take care of the rest. So exit out. I'm going to come right down here. Let's double click on the total. First off, I need all of these variables here, these 3 variables. Yeah, that'll make life easy. Let's use these 3 variables first. I'm going to copy them. Let's go back in there since I have them. Double click on total payment and paste that in there. Now get rid of this. The very first one is going to be, let's say, equals, I think we can say by value, txt inner city dot text. So whatever we have in here is stored in here. So let's repeat the same thing for this other one. And the next one is basic. That's going to be txt basic pay. Okay, let's put that here. Close that. And this is going to be basic salary. The text box is called. Now this one here, that is going to be for the overtime. So the overtime is also called txt overtime. Just grab hold of this and paste it right here. Okay, now that is taken care of, let's do one thing. LBL gross pay dot caption. That is taking all of these value that I've just entered in there. So I'm going to say, I don't want that noise anymore. Take this. Now equals this, then add the basic pay to it in a city. That's the money you get, the wages you get from working in the city, and this one is basic pay, and if there's any overtime. Now there. So what I just want to see now is to make sure that this is we're taking all of the value. But first thing first, let's copy this and convert it to pound, and let's say equals format. The gross pay, LBL gross pay dot caption, comma, let me put a pound sign, and hash to represent the value, comma, double hash 0.000. There we go. Now I'm going to try this out. There's still more to go, so let's enter value in there, enter whatever in there, and in here as well, and let's see. Good, the gross pay is working. Okay, now let's continue. Double click on that. I'm back in here. The next thing I want to do now is I want to get the tax, pension, student loan, and NI number. I want those ones calculated, so come right down here, paste them here. So this one, tax, is going to be equals the following. Let's get hold of all of this here. And whatever the tax rate is, you can just make that up. Okay, and I'm going to assume the tax is, let's say it's about 9%. Let's say 9 multiplied by 9, divide that by 100. Okay, so we have, so that will be 40. That should be divided. Okay, I've got the very first one. Now for the pension, it's going to be the same. Let's assume you're paying more pension for your own security. So you grab a pension, and let's say the pension is about, you paying about 12% of it. Then student loan, payback time student, and the student loan you're paying about, let's say 5% of your wages. Then your NI, that's that's for the states, and let's assume that is just about 3%. Okay, so that is all taken care of. Now we now want to assign each of these into their own respective components. So let's say LBL tax dot caption, we take in whatever we have inside tax. Okay, pension for pension, student for student, and so on. Okay, now let's go for LBL pension. LBL pension dot caption equals pension. Now student loan, grab all of that. LBL student loan dot caption, let's see, dot student loan dot caption, is the name wrong? Okay, let's see, dot caption equals that. Let's see, what is my student loan called? Okay, let's finish up this, I'll find that out. Then the next one is the NI. LBL NI payments dot caption, that is equals that. Now student loan, I did not see the auto here. That is correct. Okay, let's copy that and paste that in there. Alright, so if I run it now and we enter, we're going to find a way to make sure when we click on this, those text disappears, and you just enter whatever you want to enter in there. There we go, the student loan, everything is calculated, so that's how much you pay. Alright, after deduction, this is the gross pay. We now need to calculate the deduction and so on. Now exit out. It's looking good. Let's go back to total. We're still working on that very total. This one's here. Let's change everything so that we can add the pound sign to it, or we can just add everything here instead of reinventing the wheel here. So let's come in here and just grab hold of all of this, paste that here, and bring the tax over, cut that off and put that here. It should work. Yep, try that out. Yep, that's fine. I don't think I'll be copying that directly from there, so I can just format it just like that. This is going to be pension. Copy, paste. Alright, let's just copy the other ones directly. Yeah, and here, cut this one off, paste it here, cut the student off, paste that in here. Right, so that is all taken care of. Nice. Exit out. Now we need to put together the deduction and the net pay. So for us to work out the deduction, what we need to do is let's come in here first and say LBL deductions dot caption, that will be equals the following. So we can just, let's clear this first. Oh wait a minute, I can paste all of that. Paste? No, undo that, copy it first, copy this, paste it here. Right, for the deduction I'm going to have to add up all of this, so let's grab hold of this and paste it in here. Or maybe we should just create one in here we call deduction and copy and paste or whatever. Okay, just paste that, add this here, and add student loan, and finally add this, the NI number. So that's for deduction. Run. So the deduction is there. So we now want to deduct whatever we have in here from here to get net pay. Good. It's looking good so far. Yeah. Now, okay, let's see if the net pay will work. I'm going to say LBL net pay dot caption, that will be equals, let's grab hold of this format, let's say equals, paste that in here. Now we now want to deduct the gross pay right here. I think that should work. Let's see if it's gonna work. Deduct this from this because it's already pound sign here. Let's see if it's gonna work. If not, I will do it in another way. Gross pay, and let's see. There's no harm in trying. Paste it there and let's see what's gonna happen. Let's run that. Enter some value in here. Overtime. Oh, it does work. So when you add this together, we get the net pay. That is very good. That actually make life easy for me. Okay, we now want to be able to work out the, you see this very one here? That is the tax period. And the tax period, we'd also use that to work out the taxable and the pensionable. So I'm going to go back in here. Now come right down here. I've already declared a variable up here that I call date, d-date. D-date is going to be equals format date, comma, middle date. That's what the date is. Now, month number, we now want to convert the date to month number. Month number equals month of the date. Very good, we have that in there. Now that we know what that one is, we're going to now say LBL tax period dot caption, that will be equals months. Okay, so if we run it now, that should officially tell us whatever number is in there. The month is July. That's it right there. That is good. So let's get this period. Let's use that to work out 1 and 2. So whatever tax you've paid, multiply that by 7 and multiply this by 7. So let's see. depend on how it's done in your own area, but I'm going to give that a shot here. Now come down here, let's say LBL, taxable, pay, dot caption, that will be equals. Let's grab hold of all of these formats and dump it there. So we want it to format the following. So whatever you have in here, multiply that by period. Now it's going to be tax, this one. We multiply that by period times let's see times let's say, okay, if we assign this into somewhere, we can just call that period, because I declare something that I call period. Yeah, so I can just say this equals this. It's the same, or I can just copy this and paste it right there. That's the period. Period of tax multiplied by that. That one is sorted. So we now need to also take care of the pensionable. Paste that in there. Change this to pensionable. The pensionable pay, pension. Pensionable, I believe that's the pensionable pay, yeah. Multiply that by, there we go. Yeah. So run. Enter some value in there. There we go. Very good. So all of the wages and so on, everything is taken care of. At the end of the day, this is the final wage, net pay, or your take home. Now let's take care of this very one. You see, when I click on this and select this, I want it to populate whatever we have in here. Okay, and this to generate reference number for us. This one is easy. We can just take care of that right away. Let's come right down, double click on that, and double click on that, and right in there I'm just going to say LBL pay reference dot caption, that will be equals evaluate the following random function. I'm going to say run between, I'm just going to make it about 1,000 by, let's say, okay, that's fine. There. So that should give us our, if I click on that, that gives us whatever. Okay, that's good, taken care of. Now let's come in here. You see, when I click on this, select whatever number, employee reference number, I want it to populate this, include their names and so on. So let's do that. Double click on that, the combo box reference, paper reference. So using an if statement, I'm going to say if the, it's not uppercase, let's see, if the combo box is set dot text, if it's equals, let's say the following, I think the first value is 7 something. Let's see a form initialize that. There we go, that is it right here. Copy it. If it equals that, then I want the following. That should be 2 of those. Okay, get rid of this one. Then txt address.text, that is equals, at least you as an employer, you must have the details, the address of your employee. So let's say it's number 12 Island Way. Okay, why do I keep adding brackets? All right, let's say end if here. Now that is for the address. The other thing is going to be txt employee name. You must know the name of your employee. So let's say that one is called Peter Parker. Then txt postcode dot caption equals, enter whatever in there. Let's say QW there. Now gender, so if you want, then we can add that in here as well. Then we have LBL. Most of these, if there's any error, it can be changed equals. Now we can just copy the reference because the reference is generated officially, and I'll have it in here. Like I said, you can change the reference as well. Okay, if you want to change that, you can change that. You can change the names, you can change everything. That is why this section of user details is all in text box, so the end user can just change it if there's any error made. Now the company you're working for, let's say, is employee name, no, employer name dot text, and that is equals, let's say, Pan Africa. There we go. So that's the first one taken care of. But now we also want to know about the national insurance number, tax code, and so on for this individual. So let's come in here. Let's say LBL tax code dot caption equals TC 7683373. Okay, so we just made one up. The next one is NI number. And that is going to be NI 5487241. And finally it's going to be NI code. So the code, whatever code is in, when they read that, they will know how much they can save for you. There, all done. Okay, let's try this out. Run. Come in here, enter that. This should be, oh, that's not caption, that's text. Change that to text. And this one is text as well. Let's go back in there, double click on that. Text, text, text. Okay, let's try it out one more time. There we go, look at that. And in here Looks like it's almost finished, but guess what, it's not finished yet. Okay, when we click on this, we need information about the payslip as well, and here we have 4 more employee to be taken care of. So to take care of those employee, double click on this and select this, and let's use else if. Come right down here, else if is this number here. All of the details we have to change. Paste that in here. So we change the name of this individual, then we change the address and so on. So let's say the address is number 17 Little Venice. And the name is Tony Montana, my dear friend. And his postcode, make that up. It's male. Okay, and all of these we have to change. Right, so let's say 2 5 7 double, that's 4, and this one so 4 2 1 5 8, and here as well, change that. There. So let's run that. We've changed all of this. Run that and see. Run. There we go. Peter Parker, Tony Montana. There we go, guys. Now you get the whole idea. So I'm going to now copy, paste, and just change that. However, I will have to speed that up. I only have 3 more to do. That's 2. And there. So let's speed that up. Okay, we are finished with that. So now let's run it and try it all out. Run. Start from the last number. Look at that. That's Mary Allen, Rebecca Johnson, and Grace Frogner. Now what I'm going to do is I want to try and make sure I'm able to display the payslip in here. Okay, so I'm going to exit out and let's go back into our project and come right down here. Double click on total payment, the button, and come right down here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to come right down here and enter the name of my list box. The list box is known as LST payslip. Dot add item. The very first item I'm going to add will be the company's name, Pan Africa, which you guys can change to whatever you like. There. And I'm going to just draw a line here. Just grab all of that and paste it right underneath here. Draw a line. No, let's make a double line and enter payslip in there. There. Just copy this line so that it's even. There we go. Alright, that's fine. Now the next value that I'm going to enter, let's enter empty space in there, and first of all let's say wage reference. So wage reference, let's say plus tab, let's add another VB tab, and the reference is LBL pay reference dot caption. Right, that is fine. Now let's do one thing. Add a space here, bit of space right underneath. Now I'm going to copy and just populate it. So right, now the next one is going to be pay reference, and change the name to COB pay reference, followed by name, and the name that's going to be TXT employee name dot text. Then let's add a tax period, and that is going to be LBL tax period. Grab hold of this, paste it here, dot caption. There. Then we have NI number. I just paste that in here, copy that, paste it right here. Then I'm going to add taxable pay, the component called taxable pay, LBL taxable pay. And I'm going to make this one pensionable. Pensionable pay. Copy that and paste that here. Right. With pensionable pay, I'm going to just make that just one single tab, and the same thing taxable, because the characters are a bit long, characters here. Now let's go for the gross pay. And that is going to be LBL gross pay. Copy that, LBL gross pay. Okay, LBL gross pay. Now we need two more. Copy this, paste and paste, and this is going to be deduction. Okay, and this will be deduction as well. LBL deductions, then net pay. Right, and this will be net pay as well. We don't need this. That's the last bit. I think that should take care of the payslip. I'm going to save that. Let's run it and see how that's going to look like. Enter some details in there, and whatever wages there and here as well. No overtime. Calculate. Okay, this should be text. Alright, let's change that to text. Let's go back in there. Text dot text. Let's make sure that is it. Yeah, I think so. Try it one more time. There we go, look at that. That's fine. Okay, so we've taken care of that. Now, let's take care of this one so that we can add whatever details of our employee straight onto the spreadsheet or the worksheet. And that. Scroll right down, double click on add payment. Alright, to add the items, first of all, I'm going to declare the following. Let's say dim WKS, we stand for worksheet as worksheet. There. Now I'm going to also declare, let's say add new as range. Then let's set worksheet. That will be equals worksheet 1. This very one, let's see, that should be worksheet 1. This very one, yeah, that's fine. So let's just say sheet 1. This should be equals sheet 1. Equals sheet 1. And set add new equals worksheet dot range, and is going to range, let's go for a 65,356. Close that dot to the end, and that will be x up dot offset, and offset it by 1,0. Alright, now let's add each of the components. So I'm going to say add new dot offset. The first one is going to be in 0 by 0 dot value. That should be dot value. And the value, that's going to be equals txt employee name dot text. Now the next one, I'm going to make that address. Let's just copy paste. This is going to be 1 2 3 4 5 6. Then we're going to have about 22. So the next one here is going to be address, txt address, followed by, let's enter postcode. And I'm going to make the next one gender. and this one I'm going to make that LBL pay rate dot caption. Then this will be employer name, and here I'm going to make that the basic pay, basic salary is called. Okay, so far, and all of those details that I've just added, I'm going to have to add them as well on the worksheet. So in here, let's come here, that will be employee name here, and followed by employee name is the address. Then we have postcode, gender, pay reference, employer name, basic salary. Okay, so now let's do more in here. Okay. Now if I run it now, though not all will be there, just only this will be displayed. So let's run it to see what I'm talking about. Add this and enter whatever here. There we go. And if I click on this, let's see, click on add, there we go. Alright, but we don't have all of the details yet, so I'm going to now continue with the rest. Let's come down here, double click on this, and the next one I can just copy all of this and change it around, copy and paste that right underneath here, and change the rest around. So I'm going to have to speed that up. Okay guys, all done. So but I still need to take care of this very one here. So the next one there, as you can see here, that should be the inner city. So I'm going to grab hold of that, paste that in here. We have the inner city, then beside the inner city is the overtime. Then we have the gross pay, and tax, pension, student loan, and I-payment, and deductions, and I'm going to enter date here, tax, period, tax code, NI number, NI code, taxable pay, then we have pensionable, pay, and finally net pay. There, I think it's all done now. So I'm going to go back to the user form. So have a good look at the lines of code. Remember, you have to declare the following and assign every single component to each add new. There we go. So I'm going to run it now. Let's run that and see run. Select whatever here, enter something here, and overtime there. Okay, let's add this. Hopefully it should work now. Let's hope I haven't made any error. So I'm going to click on add. There we go. Look at that. You see that, guys? That is fine. I like that. Okay, and that's why it's advanced payroll management system anyway. So the next thing we want to do now is we now want to reset. Then we will take care, just tidy up one or two things and exit. Reset, exit. Now let's let's take care of exit first. That's a little bit easy. Double click on that. First thing first, dim. I exit as, so I exit as a VB message box result. And I'm going to now say I exit will be equals message box, and I'm going to enter as follows. Confirm if you want to exit. That will be my first argument, comma. Then I'm going to say enter the following method, VB question. That will be the sign that you will see on the message box plus VB yes no. Yes no will be the two buttons. One will be yes, the other one will be no, comma. And the last one is going to be payroll. That will just be the title, payroll system, and close that. Now using an if statement, if I exit equals VB yes, then unload me, and if. That is my exit taken care of. Once you click on the exit, the system would prompt you to confirm if you actually want this to happen. Else, go ahead and do that. So let's run that. Click on exit. You see that? That is the question mark. Yes. Alright, so let me show you the difference. If I double click on it, here is a question mark. Supposing I enter information, and what you see is the information sign. Click on that. You see that? That is the information sign. Okay, so since it's something prompting you, asking you a question, I might as well leave that as question. So that's fine. Save that. Now let's take care of our reset. Double click on reset. So with the reset, I'm going to start with the following. Let's say I go for, this one, I can see them here. Let's copy those, paste that in there, equals reset, copy basic, equals clear, overtime, paste, equals clear as well, and just speed that up. Copy this, and that is it, all done. However, in here, these three components here, there are some values in them. So I'm going to come in here, 0.00, and repeat the same thing for the other two. here and here. Now one other thing is I'm going to ask the system to initialize the form, but let's run it first and see before. Enter whatever in there and enter whatever value in here. There. If I click on reset, there we go. Well, let's look in here. There's nothing in there. There's nothing in here as well. As for this, that's fine. I'm not going to reset that. But all here is all disappeared. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. Let's look for form initialize. There we go. That is it. I'm going to copy that. Go back into my reset, double click there, and underneath here I'm just going to say call user form initialize. That's it. So if I run it now, there we go, and click on reset. You see that it automatically initializes and they are back in there. That is good. All done. There's something that I wanted to show to you guys. You see here, when you click on this, I expect this to automatically disappear. So let's take care of that now. So we double click on that, and that is the inner city. So what I want is once my mouse enters, so let's say on mouse enter, on mouse move, mouse up, mouse down, let's say mouse enter. When the mouse enter, we want this inner city itself dot text equals clear, and we also want it to dot set focus. Okay, supposing mouse leaves, on mouse leave, if the mouse leave, okay, mouse leaves, let's see if there's any other event. Alright, we set it for mouse leaves. Mouse exits. Once the mouse exits, and if it's empty, let's say if inner city dot text, if it equals this, then we want it to default back. Inner city dot text will become this, and if. So that will take care of that. If I run it now, let me show you that. Come in here, that's the inner city, click, disappears, and as soon as I click elsewhere, you see it is back in there. Let's repeat the same thing for basic salary and overtime. Now come right down here, double click on basic salary and overtime. Basic salary, we change that to, we can just copy and just change this, change the names around. Yeah, copy this. You can do that, you can do it that way. Paste, change the names around. Basic salary, come in here and enter basic salary, dot seems, paste and paste, and here as well. Yeah, we need this underneath here. Change this and this. Okay, I think basic salary is taken care of as well. So let's run it. Run. There we go. You see that? Alright, now we need the overtime. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. You can copy and paste. Then for the overtime, I'm going to do it the right way. Come in here, enter, and overtime is going to be that. Paste. Yeah. I will say dot text equals Then we also want it to overtime dot set focus. Now on exits, so if overtime dot text equals nothing, then here dot text equals there we go, and if, and that is it. Okay, so you can't just do whatever you like without entering values in there, so that is fine. Okay, and that is fine now. Alright, so what we then want to do now is, see this very one, we want to be able to select whatever value we have in here, and that will reduce the user form. I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Click on the user form, come right down here, you see where we have zoom. I'm going to change that to, let's go to 15, press enter. You see that? That is the whole idea of that. Okay, so the default value is 100. I just enter 50 and you see how 50 looks like. So when I run it, let's click on the form, run. That's how it looks like. So we want to be able to use this to correct that. So it's actually very good for those who are visually impaired. Okay, so go back to the default value 100. Now that that is taken care of, double click on this very button here. It's called COB zoom. Double click on COB zoom. So right in here we use an if statement. First of all, let's copy this name. So let's say if COB zoom dot text, if it equals 50, then user form 1 dot zoom equals 50. That is it, done. And if now let's use else if. Copy that. I have it up to 200, so else if it's 100, this becomes 100. Else if, and what about the width? Yeah, let's change the width as well. Okay, let's count. 100 will be the standard width. User form 1 dot width, that is equals 1030. Then the height, user form 1 dot height equals 800. Yeah, that is good. Indent. Now grab hold of this and change it to run for the others. Okay, the next one is if it's 120, this becomes 120, and I'm going to make this about 300. Let's say 3, yeah, something like that. Let's say 28, 25, and the height we can make it about 900. So we can just speed that up, but before then let's run it and see. Change that to 50, change it back to 100 and go for 120. There we go, and so on. So let's speed up the rest. It's the same process. Exit out, double click on this and then copy, paste and speed it up. paste and speed it up. And that is all there is to it, guys. Okay, look at that. All done. So I'm going to now run it. Click on run. Change this to 200. Look at that. That is huge. Okay, so you can just zoom in, just drag it along, and that is 200. Take it back to 100, the standard form. There. Now take care of some wages in there. Overtime. There we go. And let's add it onto the worksheet. And that is Grace Frogner. Click on add. There we go, guys. And that is how you create your own advanced payroll management system. Guess what, guys? This is standard payroll management system of which you can modify for your own business. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this beautiful and interesting tutorial. I suppose you guys enjoy it, and please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. I'm trying very hard to get me up to 1 million viewers or 1 million subscribers. So thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, guys. You all have a nice day now, and bye for now.